Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to what is another round of the Global Endurance Tour here on iRacing. Today we have the 24 hours of Daytona, a bit of a prologue, prelude if you want, to the special event coming up in January. If you have watched this channel before, you will know that we won Le Mans previously. That was my previous outing in the championship. And this time we're here with a bit of a different lineup here. SM Corsa, my personal team, has partnered up with Swan Simsport, providing a 4-driver lineup consisting of Jaden, who started the car, Toby, Michael, and myself. As you can see here, Jaden has put an absolutely stonking lap together and slapped it on pole position for the 24 hours. Of course, this being a 24-hour endurance race, pole does nothing. It has absolutely no meaning, but we are still heading into this race with high hopes, considering how Le Mans went. Starting the race here, Jaden gets an absolutely amazing jump on the field. He goes early, he jumps everybody, and he's already waiting by half a second heading into the first corner. Just gotta be careful with those tires so you don't go understeering off. But he seems to have a lot of ice in his veins and gets that start done perfectly, already gapping the entire field into the international horseshoe. No real incident in the start, which is exactly what you want in a 24-hour race. And yeah, not to graze too much, I've already said it multiple times, but that is a perfect start, all things considered. Only 11 cars here in GTP, but getting the early lead in an endurance race is crucial. You can start setting the pace of the race, and you can just kind of start running your own race without worrying about too many cars around you. Now, absolutely nothing happened on the first stint. Jaden, he just dipped, he just checked out up ahead, and we are leading by about 17 seconds as we head into the pit lane for the first time to complete our first racing stint. Really the perfect start, all things considered. We are leading, cars in one piece, and we are looking good on race pace, setting the fastest lap there on the opening stint of the race. Still 17 seconds as we come at the pits, but cold tires catch out Jaden here as he goes locking up into what I believe is called the Western Horseshoe. Bumps the wall there, a bit of damage, but nothing to stress about. It looks a lot worse than it actually was, but he manages to get it going again and continue the stint without any issues. Of course, we did lose a bit of time there, about 7-8 seconds in total, but we are still in the lead of the race and coming to the end of his next stint. Damage is still there, but we managed to pit with a 13-second gap to the car behind. Now Jaden is just continuing on, doing what he was doing, continuing his good form there, and nothing real to add. Pace is significantly faster than anyone behind him, 2/10 a lap quicker, 7/10 a lap quicker, as you can see there on the top left of my overlay. Negotiating traffic like an absolute pro here, getting stuck behind these Porsches, but making his way through nonetheless. The Porsche was really dominant in GT3, which I came to see. Very interesting, since that car typically doesn't like straight lines, but it seemed to be very, very good in the bus stop chicane. Now, after this, Jaden finished his triple stint, Toby hopped in for a double, and now it was time for Michael to hop into the car. Really, nothing happened from the second hour onwards, all the way to the fourth. But this is where our race really became unraveled here. Heading into the international horseshoe, we're going through GT traffic and keeping on that McLaren. I don't know what happens there, but he just doesn't brake for the corner. We get hit from the rear, we hit him again as we locked all 4 tires up, and that is a meatball flag for us. That is just so unbelievably tragic. I don't know what happened from the McLaren's perspective. I don't unfortunately have it because I have replay spooling off, but that is just simply ridiculous. We're leading the race by damn near a minute, might have even been over, I don't remember, but yeah, that forces us to go back into the pit lane, and after that we are 3 laps down on the leader in P5. That is so unbelievably tragic, happening from the lead of the race, and very, very, very unfortunate. We've driven the perfect race until now. We were by far the fastest car in there, but this is endurance racing. Sometimes the fastest car does not always win, and that is why we watch it at the end of the day. But this setback only fueled us even more. Jaden went on an absolute charge after he hopped back into the car, taking the Cadillac in third place around the outside, heading into the first corner. Man, you can see the timing board there. We were flying at this one. We were absolutely determined to make up that ground we lost. And here we are then. I'm hopping into my first stint at 3:37 AM local time. Absolute demon hours if you ask me, but here we go now. For my first stint, I see the absolute mountain we have to climb. I wake up to that. I watch my Twitch stream as I wake up from my little 3-hour nap. And I am just in disbelief looking at what the gaps are. For my first stint here, very, very rough start and a lucky escape, locking up into the grass there in the western horseshoe, inches, if not millimeters away from the wall there. But we managed to get away with that lucky escape, and now I'm going to be charging hard here. I'm extremely sleep deprived, super tired, but look at the timing board. I'm absolutely setting them alight right now, about a second quicker than anyone else on the circuit, by far the fastest man on the track. Of course, I was not fuel saving. I wasn't going for those 28 lap stints or even 30 lap stints as some others were doing, but I was just pushing as hard as I can in order to bring that gap down, getting held up by traffic here. But despite the lack of sweep, still somehow managing to be competitive, super tired here. But in a way, this kind of felt calming, which is very interesting to say, because when you're tired, you really don't have much to think about. You're only focused on the drive that you have ahead of you, the road ahead, the cars around you. That's the only thing that you focus on. And that is, in a strange way, very calming on the nerves. So I'm just here, completely alone in the voice chat, just doing my thing, slicing up traffic and just going as fast as humanly possible. Of course, you could see at times if you watch the entire stream at this time specifically, which is I'm not expecting you to have done, because that was, especially for my European viewers, at a horrendous time. You could see that the movements were maybe a bit choppy and the reactions were a bit delayed. But still, nevertheless, I'm actually quite proud of how I've managed to do this night stint so far. A lot of traffic in bad places, but still, look at the top left. Timing board is fully green, taking about a second a lap, if not more, from the cars around us. Just in a overall complete flow state at the minute. And there, that red name you see on the position timer, we have now caught up to third place again. We're currently 2 laps down on the leader. This is still very much doable. I did some calculations before and after my stint, and if we kept this up till the end of the race, we would have been up with the leaders pretty much. This pace was absolutely incredible, and Toby and Michael were essentially the same pace as we were. Make a little mistake here into the pit lane on entry, really trying to maximize the speed in there. We lock it up, unfortunately, but yeah, it all works out in the end. Lose a bit of time there, but nothing major. Now this is a major incident here. I clipped the curb on my outlap, and here I was just thinking, okay, now we're done. That's going to be in the wall, but somehow, miraculously, the car grips a bit in the grass, and it doesn't go all the way back onto the circuit and into the wall. So really lucky to get away with that incident. We do lose our lap to the guy in third place, but the push keeps on going here, taking 2 Porsches around the outside in the first corner. You see the gap is already coming down, but on the contrary, you can see that the Cadillac was doing 30-31 lap stints, which is significantly more than we were, so he's obviously fuel saving quite a bit. But we don't have to worry about that right now, so we try to go around the inside into this hairpin, which takes us on to the oval, but the Cadillac goes wide as well. That means that we get a nice slipstream on our way to the bus stop chicane. Speeding it up here for y'all as we get very, very close, constantly gaining on the straight. There's an LMP2 ahead of us. Which way are we going to go? He goes right. I try to dart to the left, but he does not leave the space there. I would have to go to the apron, which would give me a penalty. But on the inside here, across the start-finish line, on the inside, he backs out of it as he should, and we continue our pursuit of the leaders. Now, having just gotten past P3, P2 was right ahead of me, and my idea here was that I could kind of back him up into the Cadillac since they were so close and kind of force a battle. I blocked the inside there, which lets the Cadillac get very close, but unfortunately they were clever enough drivers to not start fighting so hard this early on in the race. So that really was all for naught, as we have a bit of a moment in the bus stop chicane very late on the inside of that LMP2, and we have dropped the guy in P2 and P3, but that was only because they made a pit stop. And now, a few laps later, we catch up to the second place car again. We go 3 wide with the Porsche in the middle. He's still on the outside, backs out of it, and we get that lap back once again, setting our sights to unlap ourselves from the leader. But I won't get that far because I'm going to box, and gonna go back to sleep here after running my triple stint starting at 3:37 in the morning. It's some absolutely outrageous hour right now. You can see it's 5:40 a.m. local time. That was actually 20 minutes before the Las Vegas GP started in Formula 1. So I hopped out of my car and went on over to do that. So handing it over back to Jaden, who just continues to do what he does best, which is drive fast, taking a lot of time out from the leaders. But another moment of our race getting unraveled. I hate to use the word again, but that's exactly what happened again. Is that Jaden, I don't know what happened, I was sweeping, but he somehow misjudges the fuel. He goes into the pits, and what I believe happened here is that he thought that he's gonna speed into the pit lane. So he backs out of the pit lane entry and just does another lap even though he doesn't have the fuel for it. Now if I was in that situation personally, I would just take the drive-through penalty for what I'll get for speeding into the pit lane, rather than trying to complete the lap and then towing at the end of it. But he obviously did not agree with me on that one. Honestly, really don't know which one's faster, and I'm actually not even sure about the cause of that incident. But yeah, we ran out of fuel, which means that we have to tow it back into the pit lane. Jaden trying to coast it as long as possible to minimize the towing time. Now we got back to about one lap away from the leader, and with that pace we would have been on course to catch them by the end of the race. But we only lose a lap there, nothing major. It was anyway at the time of our pit window. So no real harm down there, just dropped another lap back, and we're not even halfway done with the race, so still plenty of time to go and plenty of time to recover that. About 11.5 hours into the race we get hit with some good news as the BMW from second place had a huge off in the bus-stop chicane, benefiting us absolutely massively and putting us into third place. Jaden finishes stint, quick as ever apart from that one little miscalculation and mishap with the pit lane entry. And as Michael hopped into the car almost at the end of his stint, did the same mistake as Jaden did the same mistake as I did. That's a very, very tough corner to judge, especially with traffic. But again, a hit to the barrier did not really cost us too much, only giving us some visual damage and a bit of understeer. But this, on the other hand, was the final nail in the coffin, which really confirmed the fact that we are not going to win this race. Already 3 laps down here as Toby on his outlap on cold tires again does the same mistake as every single one of us, but this time just with way bigger consequences. Loses the tire, and that is a long repair for us, which ends up dropping us down into 4th place and really out of the fight for the win. That's very unfortunate. I really think we had the pace even to come back from 2 laps down, but nothing really that can be done there. Unfortunate, of course, but that's a part of racing. Mistakes happen, especially on cold tires in these GTPs. But as I hop back into the car, yeah, all I can really do is just drive fast and take it home. Really nothing to fight for here. 8 laps down on the leader, 2 laps down to the car ahead, and 7 laps ahead of the car behind. So yeah, not much to fight for here. Just gonna drive it till the end, of course, because we have still some chance of getting a podium if things don't go the way of our rivals. And at this point I had the idea that I would kind of try to pressure these leaders into making a mistake whenever I'm near them. You see, trying to wheel bang him a bit. Obviously not going to pit maneuver him there, because that's just what they call a dick move. But there would be some good news to come here. Take a look. Just I haven't had any problems, but just watch out for the rear locking, and that's P3.
The leader, class is pitting. P3, slower class car ahead. That was a 135.2.
Come on. So there we go then, that's P3 secured. They had a big crash, and as I help out the car, it's only going to get worse for them. Oh, he's off again, Yes! Yes! Get out of here, man. Get in there. Oh, yeah. You love to see it. Cold tires out the pits. And that's all sure. Yep, so easy to do. In the wall. And just like that, it's time for my final stint of the race, a fairly uneventful one apart from this LMP2 being an absolute helmet there, trying to take it too wide into the bus-stop chicane, forcing me to just go wide and rejoin the circuit later on. I don't know what was he thinking there, he could have just let me by. He's not fighting for anything, I'm not fighting for anything, so yeah, just really unnecessary maneuver there. But there we go, I bring it back to complete my final stint. 8 laps down on the leader, and car behind is well down on us as well. So nothing to really worry about, as now we head onto the final lap of the race. Toby taking it home for SM Corsa X Swan Sim Sport. You can see me there, getting up my makeshift champagne. Jägermeister, obviously do not drink and drive. Only reason I'm doing that is because I'm not driving anymore. But Toby then is going to finish it off for us, and we are going to come home in 3rd place for the Daytona 24 hours, which is a satisfactory result, all things considered. Yes, we had the pace to win, but, you know, you don't always win these races, so I think we can be happy with what we achieved. Yeah, hell of a job, everyone. Nice work, nice work.
Let's go.
Yeah, well driven, y'all.
Yeah, awesome job, awesome work.
Oh!
Oh. So there we are then, podium at the 24 hours of Daytona.
Boys.
I have a bit of mixed feelings about that result. I know we had the pace to win, and when you have the pace to win and don't, it really does dampen the mood a bit, knowing that you had the chance, just knowing that you had the chance to be able to win the race and then not winning it always is going to leave you disappointed. That's just human nature and competitive nature in general. But nevertheless, I think we can be proud of what we achieved today. P3 is by no means a bad result, especially in the 24-hour race. Just making it till the end is an achievement in and of itself. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this today, and I'll catch you around for the next endurance race, whatever it may be. So, until then, I hope you liked the video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.